Hello everyone, welcome back to Spar and Brawl. I hope you're having a decent day. So as always, I'm joined by my co-host Sam. And we were just recording a few things, including a new episode of Progressive Tweets. So that's up. But yeah, since last night, this morning, the whole progressive YouTube world has been taken over with the story of Taylor Lorenz. So we thought, why not make a little video of it and on it? And then we saw like the best part and the funniest part is kind of TYT's, angry reaction to it. Again, by TYT, I mean Cenk and Anna, really. So we thought, why don't we they have two videos on this. Why don't I take a few parts of it, make a shorter version, and then we can do a little bit of like a watch along. So watch it, then pause and commentate. But before doing that, Sam is first gonna introduce the story a bit in case anyone's not too familiar. Talk about the takes on the rising and breaking points before we get into TYT. And then Glenn just posted a video, I don't know, a few hours ago or something, on this issue, of course. And we haven't had the time to watch it fully, but we thought maybe we can just watch the first 10 minutes of that together with everyone and pause it if there's anything to pause and commentate. And if not, that's that for now. So as per usual, please like and even more importantly, subscribe. And after, also share your comments, questions, criticisms, and everything else down below with us as well. But okay, Sam, with the housekeeping stuff out of the way, why don't you set up the story a bit and take it on from here.
Taylor Lorenz is one of the more fascinating characters online. She's basically made a career out of like gossiping about others. Please somebody introduce me to one of her article that has any substantive
Interesting.
material.
But hold on, can I stop you already? So I was familiar with her a little bit, right, through the whole thing of her saying, that just because Glenn mentioned her name, that her life got messed up and all that. So I know her a bit, but did you know her before that, or you've gone and actually read some of her other work?
No, I had heard of her, but then no, after she did she did an interview a couple of months ago with the mainstream media in which she cried about the fact as soon as they find out your name, as soon as you put something out there, they come after you with the worst possible way. It's like, these people, are you 5? Like my 6-year-old nephew has more like understanding of how word works than you do. But no, after that I became more interested in her. So no, I knew her name. That was about it. But she's fascinating. One of the fascinating things about her is that when you go on Wikipedia page, it says born October 21st, 1978 or 1984 to 1987. So that I find very interesting. Like, she doesn't have a confirmed age. Like, it could be from 1978 to 1988.
But so you see more accurate stuff for like historical figures. They can place like Jesus or Plato more accurately than
Genghis Khan or Tamberlane have more like specific
than her.
But, she's pathetic. She's a genuinely pathetic writer and a political activist. I mean, but yeah, that's my background of her. But yeah, a couple of months ago, she did an interview with the mainstream media in which she cried about how online harassment is destroyed her life. So she contemplated suicide. But yeah, and all that. And then which Anna, but anyway, we get to that later.
Yeah, but hold on. Like, I mean, I already have something to say about that.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, I was gonna move on to
listen, I'm not denying how other people commenting towards you, how that can make you feel, right? Maybe someone just says to you, this is an example, not to this, but someone just says to you, hey, your shirt's not the nicest, and then you might get like really sad and all that, right? So like,
wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Who says you? Maybe your shirt is not the nice. It's like the nicest bully on earth.
No,
like,
okay.
Maybe your shirt is not the nicest. That's
but my point is, like, I'm not denying how that impacts you, right? So maybe from the comments that she received on Twitter and everything, maybe she was impacted negatively, right? And her mental health and everything was all messed up and she couldn't sleep or
Sure.
whatever. But that doesn't equal to that this issue is objectively or necessarily very bad or out of control or something that you shouldn't expect and doesn't come with the job of journalism and all that. That's where my issue comes with it. Did you get what I'm kind of saying? So
Yeah,
I mean, maybe like
yeah,
a small comment can make some people like really distraught in their head. And I'm just saying, I'm not taking that away from you. But having said that, this is like a job and like an issue or something where, where it kind of comes with the job and you come in complaining about this and saying it doesn't really stand up.
yeah. I mean, it's yeah. You can at the personal level, a lot of things can bother you, and maybe for your partner in life, that's a very important thing. But yeah, it's not an issue. It's not a societal issue.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, though, I genuinely think that we should draw this line, and sadly, it's become blurred recently. This sort of like like physical things are different from like, oh, I get harassed online. They said mean things, or even in person. If you're famous or not famous, get over it. Like people say things you don't like it. Just I'm sorry, but go talk to your therapist or your loved ones.
Yeah,
I don't
and
care.
it
Like,
might hurt you. I mean, like I'm not saying it's probably not fun reading hateful comments and all this, but also you
sure,
also
but
get a
life
lot
is
of
not supposed
nice,
to be
yeah, and
fun.
you also get a lot of nice
Life is not.
comments, on the internet
Sure,
and
yeah.
stuff. And you're right, that is different from physical, which yeah, you're right that line does get quite a bit blurry.
Yeah, but basically what I'm trying to say, she's a massive loser who is trying to hide her age, apparently. So, a huge loser. But yeah, it's just, and then she wrote an article recently. You read the article, I think. I haven't.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, but the
Oh,
article,
I wasn't ready for that, but
from
okay.
what, yeah, okay, yeah. From what I understand in the article, she discusses this lady who has this TikTok channel, who she republishes videos of the people from LGBT community, gay people or transsexual people who are teachers or who make videos that are cringe. I went and saw some of her videos and I have a take on her as well, but she writes an article about her. And in that article, she's extremely hypocritical because she discusses her name and her address or something, her license or
Yeah, her
something, I
name,
believe.
really, I think that's like the main thing.
All right. Sagar says she puts the license or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, so and it's what she does is extremely hypocritical and all that. So everybody's onto her, is on her, like saying you're a hypocrite, and then some, like, it's two camps. Some people saying she basically is a hypocrite and she doxed that lady who made the Libs of TikTok videos. And then there's the other camp, TYT, which is like she's a brave journalist taking a stance against, oh jeez,
Against what?
against this person who's
Against Glenn.
me. Yeah, largely, but yeah, against this person who's defaming people from LGBT community. Yeah, so TYT. Yeah, and to be honest, in this case, I think both sides are really overblowing this out of proportion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with you as well a little bit. So, I mean, let's say, okay, the part of TYT and all this is easy to say that why they're blowing it. A bit of disproportion, but why would you say that for like Glenn or Sagar or like, I guess Robbie, you would put him in the same camp, like
to an
everyone.
extent, yeah. I mean, what is this thing that she deserves anonymity? Why?
Yeah, that I agree. That I agree
Why?
with you, and I think Glenn discusses that. I just listened a little bit to his video. That's like one of the first thing that he says. Yeah, I don't understand the whole thing, like where this comes right to anonymity and all this. I mean, she can try her best. You have a right to do that. Nobody can come and tell you not to try that. But once you try it and it fails at some point, and also, I mean, I think, Crystal Ball was saying this on Breaking Points. She was like, she kind of does have a public facing, role that she is playing right now, right? This channel has become huge, right? These libs of whatever it's called, they're huge channels. So it's not like also she's like a grandma at home like knitting or something, and people
Even if she
are putting,
was, I
even if she
think.
was, someone finds out, they can't say ex's grandma knits at home. This is who she is. But yeah, I agree with you here. I don't understand why, or maybe we might misunderstood what others are saying, but so far, based on what I've seen on this story the past few hours looking into it, is that, yeah, I don't get where that right to it comes. She tried to stay anonymous and she wasn't able to, and that is what it is.
And Glenn is like, one of the tweets was about that. The real issue is about the corporations or big
Yeah.
journalistic entities going after a small creator. I don't see that either. Like, I genuinely
I
don't.
mean, listen, no, but listen, I would say this. Is this the most important piece of journalistic work out there? Of course not. Does this make me say like, oh, what an institution the Washington Post is for having put out this story, or, oh, how did they get this story? It's so interesting and there's so much information, and blow away. Of course it's not. But besides that, I mean,
what is no, I must say, like, Taylor Lawrence is a hypocrite of the highest order and one of the biggest losers I've seen in media. Like, I mean, how pathetic do you have to be? Like, you're already at Washington Post and all that. I have to cry. Pathetic little creature, parasite, really. But you read the story. What is the story's angle? Well, why is it just like, is it just exposing her, or is it exposing number of conservatives, or what is the angle of the story?
Man, no, it's just her. I mean, like, literally, I wish I had it under my eyes right now. Hold on, I will. But no, it's just her. No, she just talks about just her, and she says who she is. And yeah, no, it's not about others. It's not a story about like bigger than that. And it's actually quite a short article. Oh, now it's telling me to pay for it because I had read it before. It's actually quite a short article. And yeah, it just talks about that, and it kind of says who she is. But yeah, I don't have it under my eyes really right now to tell you more.
I mean, look, but at the same time, by the way, I must say, I watched about 20 minutes of different videos of the Libs of TikTok, not more. So I don't want to like say I have extensive knowledge, but I do think she's a pretty disgusting person as well. Like, all of them here, like, they all disgust the people in her videos, in the videos of Libs of TikTok. I mean, what the hell is going on in this world?
But hold on, sorry, I just looked very quickly because I had the article on my phone, so it just refreshed my memory. So one thing that it does, it kind of just says how before she tried different accounts and it never took off, and the first few paragraphs just kind of describe what these accounts are. And then there's a part with a sub headline saying an account in search of a voice, M dash, and a big break from Joe Rogan. So then just the other angle of is that, how this account became big because of quote unquote these right wingers, kind of like Joe Rogan, who said like, this channel is pretty funny and stuff. And so people went and checked it out. But yeah, that's it. And yeah, that's and then I guess she also gets into a bit of saying like how some of these people that she outed, or videos that she shared, they lost their jobs at schools and things like this.
That makes sense, man. So you saw some of her videos too, right?
Yeah, I watched that whole video that you sent me, which was her on her YouTube channel, I guess, kind of with this podcaster, and they were going through the different videos.
Man, the people, what the hell is going on? Why are people sharing these videos? Like, the voluntarily sharing, like, I'm sorry, but most of these videos are evidence for, like, you should be taken to asylum. I mean, what the hell?
Like, videos might surface one day of me doing stupid stuff, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be drunk, because in a sober state of mind, actively taking out your camera and saying all these, because there's so many steps of thinking. Usually when you're drunk and you make a mistake, it's because there isn't another barrier of thinking. But here, you've thought about it. You pull out
No,
your
but
phone.
this is
You said, all right, let me record the video. Once you've recorded the video, you're like, yeah, no, it's definitely a good idea to also share it, and hopefully it's gonna get a lot of views. So I don't know, man. I'm as
but
flabbergasted as you are.
and we're going to discuss this on Friday, but that asshole Democrat who's running is Lauren Bart, and and then the guy who stood up against Shapiro. I used to live in Brighton, who's considered to be the gay capital of like UK, right? And I've never seen people like that, like in real life, like these attitude-y, like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and
No, they're a
you know what
small
I mean? Like
minority, and
these
it's also a
people who
stereotype that people
have
take
you
and
seen them in real
flock
life?
around. No, because there are very few. And listen,
No, it's a TV creation. It's a TV creation, and people are sort of recreating it.
Yeah,
in real
maybe.
life
I don't know
for
where it comes
Instagram, and
from, but
it's so weird to me. It's
that's
so
the
weird.
thing, right?
Like,
this lady is just because we're gonna listen to the Anna Kasparian and stuff. They're like, no, she's not just posting the videos, she's framing them in X, Y, and Z. So yeah, she's perhaps putting a caption, and then on Twitter, she does tweet on Twitter and say more. But if we're just talking about, it seems, but if we're just talking about the videos, the reason these videos and this channel are so insanely popular is because these videos are so insane. They're like beyond your wildest imagination.
I think like in one of them, I wasn't sure, like the one that was a music video or something. I wasn't sure if the video itself was a parody, but they didn't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I genuinely think there is I don't understand what more evidence does the authorities need to take people to asylums. I genuinely need to, like, there was the guy who was overweight. He needed to be taken to asylum, or it was an act, like one of these two things.
But, he wasn't the one that seemed the most to me to be an act. I think some of those teachers, I was kind of like,
oh yeah, they were really weird. The one with the flag, I saw.
Yeah, I mean, one or two of them are yeah. I mean, I'm sure some of them are not so bad. And someone like Crystal Ball, I don't know, I'm using a reference. She watched it, like I kind of use her judgment in this issue, perhaps more other things. And she's watched quite a bit, and she said, some of them are perhaps a bit discomforting and all that, and you don't want to see them.
That's the thing. It's not
other ones.
That's why I want to, like, I'm trying to construct the thing, because yeah, the people in those videos that they themselves share, they're awful. I think they need actual mental help, like genuinely they need to be institutionalized. Then you have the Libs of TikTok person, the lady, and she's, I mean, the only thing that it reminded me of was American Idol. Do you remember American Idol in the earliest stages? And I felt kind of disgusted with myself, because you see, it's like Simon Cowell, this asshole, just like that, laughing at some losers. And it's like, oh my God, like what, like you're even a bigger loser than these guys, because you're like, it's just, her takes were so pathetic and so disgusting.
For sure. Oh, you got to cut off there for a second. Yeah, continue. The takes were so disgusting.
Yeah, I felt, I mean, I think she's just, it just reminded me of, I never liked, but I knew Beavis and Butthead. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
MTV. Yeah, it reminded me of those guys, her internet persona, like aren't they stupid? Aren't they? I felt this. I genuinely felt like
you're right. Like,
and I'm watching a P.T. Barnum, like doing these Carney shows. It was just,
and screw them and this channel. That's for sure. And I mean, if you watch just a few minutes, I'm sure if you talk to this lady for a few minutes and you get her takes on X, Y, and Z, you'll be like, oh my God, why did I do that? I'm never talking to you again. But I mean, some of the videos that she was showing, though,
aren't they retarded?
I don't know, some of the videos that she was showing, like I couldn't even imagine that that's what was going to be in it, because some were kind of really weird.
I mean, I don't understand those. I know it sounds like those videos. Why don't authorities intervene? Like why? So, like some of these people shouldn't be allowed to drive. What the hell is going on? Like
and like one way you can, this kind of comes to her defense, I feel, which is that if I were her, she could say, no, she could say this. She has two things I think she could say in her defense, kind of, if you would come after her. One, be like, look, I'm on these platforms which are just dying to like cut off and censor people like me. But look, I've had one or two small bans on Twitter and like TikTok, maybe. In TikTok is apparently notorious also for censorship and all this. But they're still letting me go, right? And that's because these people send me these videos and I'm not doing anything bad. And
they're not sending, she's finding
them. She's finding them. Others are sharing with them. So, these videos just mean that they're okay, right? If these platforms, who I'm sure would be on her case. Secondly, schools and stuff are taking action, and not that the schools are always right? I'm sure some of the schools might be wrong in a lot of decisions that they make, but at least in some parts it can be used to justify that, so these schools have actually fired some of these teachers and other ones. And, I don't know the nuances and the stories, a lot of them, but she could also use that as an example. But, well, look, I'm not the only one finding these things crazy. And in fact, schools and officials and parents and others, I agree that these X or Y or Z who shouldn't have been teaching. So, the schools might be wrong. I don't know the detail of every story. Maybe some of these people got fired for absolutely no reason, but I don't know.
I mean, look, from what I understand, the biggest law we are talking about is the Florida law, right? And the people on the left, the most reasonable, because personally, to be honest, because it's third graders or less. And maybe I'm a bit conservative in that sense. Maybe it's my Eastern background coming out or some shit. But I don't understand why people less than like 9 or 8 years old need to be discuss sexuality in a school. Like
yeah, in that sense. And I mean, in that sense, and beyond the curriculum, like, listen, there's one teacher, right? There's one teacher. His video is probably the least cringe. Go ahead.
Just wanted to say, at the same time, I do know that it's better to tell children earlier on, in case if they get some unwanted thing and they don't know how to describe it, then they have the knowledge to describe it. So I'm not saying zero, but I don't know like and that's the biggest criticism of the law. It's so vague that they can sue any teacher for example, if a teacher has a ring on it and they say, oh sir, are you married? And he says, yes, I'm married to a guy, then maybe they can sue the teacher to get him fired. So I don't know the specifics of the law, but that seems to be the two cases. Because at the same time, I'm not overly for like a schools teaching children about sex or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, take some responsibility for your fucking children. Like this idea that a school has to be 100% perfectly to your liking. Like,
yeah, Jesus. Like, I don't know at what ages you start talking about sex and all this. I remember the school that I went to, they started talking about these things around grade 5 or 6.
So how old you mean?
So let's say 10, 11-year-olds and up. But it was more about safe or like 12. It was more about safe sex anyway, but I guess all of these are the discussions. But yeah, I mean, I don't know at what age. And like one of the teachers, for instance, like in his situation, I can't remember what happens in his video towards the end, but he actually said that one of the students went to him or like said in a class, hey sir, aren't you like gay? My teacher said, my mom, sorry, thinks that you're gay because of the way you talk, right? So yeah, if someone says that to a teacher, it would be unfair to say, oh, why did you tell the kid, yes, I'm gay and I have a partner and stuff? I mean, he had to. But then those two girls, there were these two other girls that we were watching. I mean, they just seemed like, I'm like, why are you talking about all these kind of things? Nonsense. I don't know if you remember, one of them have two. Anyway, people haven't seen all these videos, so maybe. Shouldn't get into detail too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the top videos of Libs of TikTok, like on YouTube.
On YouTube.
So I'm sure it's easy to find. But yeah, I'm just thinking that I genuinely believe this in my personal interactions as well. Like genuinely, we need a real intervention by government in terms of mental health. Like half of the people really need to be locked up. I don't understand. We allow these people to drive, to have children. I mean, Jesus Christ, these people are allowed to have children.
I mean, that one lady who had her child in the video about like getting vaccinated and all that, like, Jesus, do you remember that one?
Yeah, but that one I had a slightly more sympathy
Oh,
with,
really?
because at least I understand it was irrational, but it was for some security or health concern, not some for idiotic, like ideology. Like I'm sorry, the overweight guy, man. What the fuck? If you haven't had a chair broken under you in public, you haven't faced true fat phobia. Oh fuck.
I mean, I understand how it can be uncomfortable and it can't be good, and living with that.
I don't.
Like society,
it's a choice, though.
People judge
it's
you.
It's not the same. It's not the same as.
It's not.
Like
it's not the same. But even if something's by choice, I'm saying, and it's not only in choice in that way, right? Life gets complicated after a while. Let's just say this. But just being made fun of is not the most enjoyable thing ever. Right? I completely agree. And in some parts, it's far less justified, and in some parts, it's more okay. But I mean, these videos, people have to see them for themselves. There's a reason this channel became so popular. You can say, oh, the people watching it are kind of messed up in their heads, but yeah, I watched it for the first time today, some of these clips, and it's not what you think. I don't know if you haven't seen it. It's like not what you think a little bit, some of them. I don't know. And yeah,
it's a freak show. It's a genuine modern day freak show that you laugh at people who are sick, pretty much. I think, that's, and she's like the P.T. Barnum, going there collecting your money for
yeah.
Yeah, it was really disgusting. I mean,
and so
it's it makes me feel so like hopeless. Just.
But okay, so we said before watching the TYT stuff, what were the takes of, I don't think we mentioned them, on the Rising? What's kind of takes there and breaking points, and then we can move on to TYT.
Sure. I guess it was pretty, like everybody who's a regular viewer can guess, breaking points, Sager was a bit more sympathetic and Crystal was a bit less sympathetic, but they both agreed that Taylor Lorenz is a loser and a hypocrite. And same with the Hill, pretty much. Like, I guess Bree was a bit more. Bree, both apparently Robbie knows the Taylor Lorenz, and they were both a bit more even timid in their criticism. But I think the meat of the thing was they agreed that she's a hypocrite and all that, and it's not nice, obviously, to attack somebody online. And then we got the TYT.
TYT, where they where you get they took it personally. They took it personally, to say the least. I wonder how many more videos they're gonna have to make until Aaron Mate finds his way somehow in the middle of this scandal for no reason.
I wonder if he starts tweeting about this, he's gonna soon be targeted.
But okay, should we move on to the TYT video and watch some of that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, folks, now that we've switched this share screen format, and I hope it turns out okay. It's kind of the first time that we're doing it in a long time. So let's see how it goes. But yeah, please like and subscribe. We're going to watch some of Anna and Cenk's reaction to her story, to Taylor Lorenz story. I still can't remember her name for some reason. Taylor Lorenz. But okay, and then we're going to watch a little bit of Glenn Greenwald's video, which is brand new and haven't seen much of it. He just posted it a while ago. But all right, let's start with this. And Sam, I guess let me know if there's any point you'd like me to pause.
Sure.
So Glenn, who is gay, is calling himself the godfather of this account. So he signed on for this. Glenn, how much money is worth it? Jesus Christ.
Glenn.
Glenn, who is gay?
I don't know where he got the Godfather thing. I think Glenn once says that like he's the godfather of the channel or something.
That's what he.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Glenn say that or write that, but he says, "Well, man, this guy is." I mean, just to focus on Glenn is just too fun. Glenn, who is gay.
No, for them, literally, the story is all about Glenn. Okay, fine. I took two TYT videos and I chopped them up. So it's not all of it, right? I kept the juicier parts, okay? Of course. But I swear, like 15 minutes of it, which you see, is all about Glenn.
Who's gay?
You know, I bet you do you think Cenk is dying to be like, but is he really gay? Maybe he's not. Maybe it's all an act.
Oh, he's gonna. I don't know.
No.
Maybe I doubt. I mean, possible. I mean, my theory. We're gonna discuss this at the end, but my theory is they do this for views. So I don't know if they probably love Glenn.
No, but they do it for views. Okay, like everybody does everything to an extent for views.
Sure.
But the way they take it and the way that they decide that they're gonna do this for views and the way like Glenn or others rub them the wrong way, there's definitely some genuineness in there. Like they genuinely get pissed and hate Glenn and Aaron. Like that's not an act. They're not that good, I think, in acting.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I backtrack. I backtrack. Yeah.
All right, let's watch a little bit more. We made it 12 seconds in so far.
Christ, man. You want to go dance for them, Glenn? Are you ever going to admit that you've now become a sick right-winger that attacks your own community?
He doesn't need to. I mean, everyone knows. Everyone sees it.
No, but the thing is, these idiots in the right wing, the dumbest people alive. So when I point that obvious fact out, that you point out is, come on, Cenk, it's too obvious to even mention, right? They're like, no, Glenn Greenwald's more to the left than you are. You morons!
I know, Cenk, but they know he's not. They know he's a useful tool for the right wing. The left knows he's a useful tool for the right wing. The right wing has an interest in presenting.
Yeah. What's up?
So I guess that's probably he kind of explicitly states the part of what you said, which is like the personal, like, and they say that he's more left wing than you are. Oh my God! Like I think he thinks it's a competition for who's the most left wing.
It seems like with this obsession that he has with right wing, left wing. I mean, how many times has
are you gonna admit you're sicko right wing? Jesus Christ. And then Anna is like, no, oh my God. But I'm going to discuss something about Anna Kasparian's name at the end, which is very disappointing. But yeah, go ahead.
Him as a leftist to say, see, we're right. The leftist agrees with us. They know what they're doing. That's part of their whole strategy.
That's why Glenn goes and dances for them for money.
Exactly, yeah.
So go ahead, Glenn, defend the fascists. The fascists coming after your own community. But oh, hey, you're safe, you're good, you're good. Don't worry, Tucker's always gonna protect you. You're one of the good ones, Glenn. I bet they won't come after you at the end, right? You're sick and you should get mental health counseling. And now this Chaya woman claims, oh golly, gee, I'm just sending out hate all over the world and I'm trying to get everybody.
You're sick.
No, what does he mean they're gonna come after you at the end? Does he think it's like, you know, that famous famous play or poet that they first came for the Catholics, I said nothing, then they came for, and it ends with the, you know, it's Nazis basically, they keep, you know, they came for the Jews, I did nothing, blah blah blah. What is, like, does he think there's a imminent attack on? I don't know. He's great. He's very angry. At Glenn, I think.
Yeah, I think the point he's making is like, oh, right now they're coming for them, but soon they're gonna come after you as well, Glenn. You know, you're a gay guy, but you know it's gonna be your turn. But I mean, you know, the point that can you still hear me?
Yeah, you cut off for a second.
Sorry, but the point that Anna makes, it's like, sure, but I mean, you know, everybody is used in that way when you go. So yeah, maybe the maybe Fox tried to use sometimes Glenn and being like, you see, we have a left-wing person who's coming and saying these things, although Glenn doesn't even identify as being on the left in that way. But yeah, if the right, if you're gonna get used in some ways, I don't really understand, what's the point there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but they are funny. I must like, he's tomato red right now, so we'll see how much redder he can get.
Fired. Cancel culture. Well, I don't know. Golly gee, the right wing would never do cancel culture. Fire them, they're gay. They support gay people, fire them. You idiots, you are cancel culture. You are cancel culture. I can't stand how unintelligent right wingers are. Just the dumbest people on the planet. I want her fired because I don't agree with her. I don't like cancel culture. You moron, look at what you just said. Look at what you just said. You're the dumbest person. Okay, I just want to be clear. And why am I so angry? No, these fascists are here. They're targeting gay people right now. That's exactly what the Nazis did. They're targeting gay people and passing laws against them, saying that they're so evil and bad, no one should even utter the fact that they exist. No, I'm not gonna stand for it. I'm not gonna stand for it. We fight back here, and I love that Taylor Lorenz fought back.
And look, the fact of the matter is, she's being attacked.
Fought back for what?
Can I?
Man, the Nazis are already coming.
Jesus Christ, man, the intent. Why am I so angry? Because that's exactly what the Nazis. I mean, look, I feel like Nazis were slightly harsher. They didn't put a law banning. I mean, like, not to make fun of. I mean, not to undermine the idiots on the right wing, but the way he talks about the whole of the right wing and like, yeah, the dumbass thing. What you said is exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right that if they said what you said, they're hypocrites. But then again, Taylor Lorenz is a hypocrite as well. So why aren't you so
exactly exposing the right wing's hypocrisy? Oh, ooh. But like a thing just came to my head, like Cenk being right wing, and not that I like right wing policies or anything, but for Cenk being right wing is not just being right wing. I think it's just being like the horrible version of a right winger that he was in his early 20s, which I think is a bit unfair. I don't think all right wingers are going around writing the kind of articles that he was writing and the things about.
Yeah, wait. Are you?
I think he's projecting on who he was back in the day on all right wingers. I mean, I think it's a bit unfair.
Yeah, are you implying that all right wingers are not Armenian genocide deniers? Or not all right wingers think that women should. What was his article about women? It was something to do with women not having sex with fat guys or something. It was something ridiculous like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
I definitely.
A right-wing douchebag back in the day.
But I don't understand. We generally say we are left wingers, blah blah blah. Who's this? Like person who's completely on the left or completely. I feel like if you're completely on the left or completely on the right, you really haven't thought too much about too many issues, because like, I don't know, I think depending on the issue, I could fall on not even like somewhere on right or left. It's somewhere usually hybrid of both. Like most people, I feel.
Yeah, and
like
that's
most people are not cookie cutter cut. I'm a right winger.
Yeah.
I believe in.
Yeah. In many ways, I mean, I think sometimes exaggerated when they say like labels are useless. I mean, no, it's a starting point, but I mean,
sure,
of course, he takes it too far. And yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, all you have to do is look at the US elections, right? How many talks are there that like this person was going to vote for Bernie, but then voted for Trump, or this person was going to vote for Bernie, then voted for Hillary, and so on and so forth. And like, oh, if this person was just better on this other issue, could have also got this other pocket of people, which again shows that people are not to this extent black and white. But now really the way he talks, I think he's really projecting like the worst type of like,
And he,
a right
yeah,
winger.
I mean, when the video finishes, I'll have it. Yeah, let's.
Act as aggressively as she's being attacked because she's good at her job. And because the right wing, as sad as I am to say it, is just not used to anyone fighting back, right? You see these ineffective Democrats in Congress, one embarrassment after the next. It's just pathetic. And then for once, we see someone, A, do her job well, okay? And then B, more importantly, after she's been attacked relentlessly over and over and over again, she doesn't stop. She keeps doing her job and they hate her because she's effective. So I hope she keeps reporting on these things. And again, if Chaya doesn't think she did anything wrong, if all she's doing is reposting what other people are putting up on social media, why did she want to be anonymous?
Man, you would think that Anna was talking about, like, I don't know, Chris Hedges met Seymour Hersh, had a baby with I don't know, Noam Chomsky, and it turned out to be she's doing
like
brilliant work.
It's like talking about Che Guevara or Shah Massoud Shah or something, like, yeah, she's going through the train, she's not giving up the resistance. What the hell are you on about? This right wing is not. What do you think? Like, do you think the right wing, as in, like, if you believe there is a right wing, like, okay, maybe there's a right wing media that reacts to her stupid article, but do you think centers of power are like, oh my God, Taylor Lorenz wrote an article about Libs of TikTok. Like, she's fighting strongly against the, tsunami of the right wing attacks, and you're not used to it. By the way, she talks about those useless idiots in Congress. Who was defending those useless idiots? Who was defending them till about a month ago? And
I mean, to be fair to, like, Cenk quickly went on to, like, the Democrats this and that, but it was a bit too late, after you spent all your time arguing how you're going to move them to the left and all this, and then
it was like, obvious, like, I don't think there is anything to be fair to him about, but I mean, this, like, the level of contradictions and the level of exaggeration in this video is just, she's fighting against, she's effective and they're scared, and I hope she continues. Well, she probably will, but she sucks. She's awful. The only thing she's done is that probably increased the Libs of TikTok's
for sure,
subscribers.
I think their Twitter account, like, already apparently increased by 150,000 or so.
Jesus Christ.
But I can see her, like, TikTok not getting too much traction because, like, people on the left and aren't on TikTok. People were like that. No, I'm joking. But Twitter, we all knew, like, all 60-year-old lefties are like, oh yes, Twitter.
Yes. So I was wondering if I would like to take back everything I said about her, and I was wondering if she could do an expose on us. I'm Sam. You don't need to really look up. Do an expose. We are bad. We are awful. We spread stuff. What is the bad misinformation? We spread that. We are awful people. Just please do something on us.
I feel like we still wouldn't get that big of a boost.
Yeah, people watch 2 minutes and they're like, no fucking way, no. I'm not subscribing to this shit.
Watch a bit more.
Why is it such a big deal that her identity has been revealed? And she's not just some, innocent private citizen who's being targeted in this unfair way. This is someone who has essentially served as this, defamation factory that influences both right-wing media and right-wing legislation. I don't hear any of these right-wingers going after what Alex Jones did because they love it. They love the harassment when they're doing it.
Sorry, so that was two different clips. That's where you heard the sound. So what she was saying before finished. I think now it's still the same video or the other one that I already put. But yeah, going with the thing that she's affecting right-wing legislators and
I mean, look, Sager said the same thing from a completely opposite view. But I do agree with her that, I mean, like, she's very annoying about it because she's like, she's affecting the blah, she's affecting legislation, blah, blah, blah. But generally speaking, I just don't believe private, like, if you're gonna
No, okay, hold on.
discuss-
There are two issues though here. Let's talk about two issues. One
Okay.
is we can come. Let's first talk about the whole thing that she's a private citizen and all this. I mean,
Yeah, I
that's where we
disagree with that.
kind of agree with Anna a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't really mean anything. You tried to be anonymous. Unfortunately, it failed for you. Like, you have no right of being anonymous, or
Yeah, by the way,
something
this
about
is not-
protecting
we
you
are
or
not-
something.
yeah, we're not talking about WhatsApp or Telegram, like a
Yeah.
private messaging thing. We're talking about Instagram or TikTok. So yeah.
And yeah, then the second issue that she kind of brought up is saying how like you said, Sagar said the same thing, that right-wing legislators, this is impacting them. It's not like, oh, they didn't have an idea to do this, or they just got the idea from these TikTok videos. I mean, of course not. They use whatever environment they have at the moment and whatever material is out there to also make references and all this. Doesn't mean that her videos caused this,
I'm
cause
sure-
like legislators to pass less or to think about that. Like, no, these are things that they've been wanting to do. These are things that they do, and yeah, they take X or Y-Z opportunity in order to promote their work, which I find to be quite a bit of a different thing.
Sure, I think, yeah, it's a reflection of society's neurosis and problems. It's not like, and even let's say, okay, it affects them. What is TYT's point? They say they wanna have a media that affects political change.
Yeah.
She wanted to do the same. So what's the what's the problem? Even if, let's say, it did affect change.
Fair enough. That's also a good point.
The threats when they're doing it. They love the defamation when they're doing it. Okay?
Honestly.
Because for them, that's power. That's how they flex their power. And when someone dares to fight back, instead of focusing on the story, what do they want to focus on? Oh, Taylor Lorenz bad. Taylor Lorenz mean. Let's go after Taylor Lorenz. We don't like it. We're used to leftists not fighting us effectively.
Yeah, they're used to Democrats who are cowards, right? And the minute that any of these goons, this Gestapo, says boo to an establishment Democrat, they're like, oh, and the Democrat runs away. Okay, but when we don't run away, when Taylor Lorenz doesn't run away, and we actually fight back with facts, oh man, all of a sudden they catch feelings. But we're making a mistake. We keep thinking that they have any degree of logic. They don't. They're just very simple people filled with hate. So they go, me do something that is good. You do same exact thing that is bad. And we think, well, that's hypocritical, isn't it? That's irrational. But they don't even understand what logic is. They don't understand what rational is. So they think, oh, if you want to get me fired because I hate black people and I'm a cop and I beat up black people all the time as part of my job, that's cancel culture. But if I get you fired for telling a poor kid, hey, it's gonna be okay, hang in there, well, of course I should get you fired. That's not cancel culture because I hate you. They don't care, they're just so unintelligent. It's impossible to talk to them. And we live with them, I don't know what to do with them. This Chaya Rychik lady now moved to West Hollywood, okay?
West Hollywood of
West Hollywood, that's the epicenter.
Why'd you move to West Hollywood?
Yeah,
I mean, it's known for a large population of LGBTQ people.
Why would
you live there?
Why'd you move there? If you hate them so much, why don't you get the hell out of that community? Because you're not welcome.
Not welcome.
Okay, you're the Gestapo that is trying to intimidate that community.
Now, her revealing the identity.
Man, this part was kind of sad if you ask me, because Cenk's level of political analysis, just for his own sake, I just hope it's like better than that, because his head otherwise must be like very, 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 very confused.
Light.
I mean, just very confused in his head, and he's pretty much bringing himself down, I feel like, to the level of like the lowest right winger, as he kind of says, because he always keeps on seeming like to equate himself with them, saying, oh, you're saying this and that, like putting himself on their level, I feel.
What the fuck are these? What? Like,
And
What?
then the whole part about Democrats and leftists and all day, like what?
And West Hollywood, by the way, do you talk to your neighbors or do you feel part of a community where you live?
Are you talking to me or to them?
No, to you, no, yeah.
No, I'm
just
not one
asking.
of those kind of people. I mean, I say hi and stuff, but that's about it.
No, but you don't actively, like, you don't regularly see your neighbors or anything. Me neither. And I've never, and as you know, I like literally move every fucking year of my life. I've moved into a different what the fuck are you talking? As if like because she moved to West Hollywood now you do know, like, you probably there are Saudi princes that have fucking mansions in West Hollywood. What do you think they're like pro LGBTQ?
Yeah.
What is this? Anyway.
And that's very right-wingish kind of comment, right? Like, oh,
get out of
criticism. Hers isn't justified.
If you don't like America, get out. Yeah. Or if you don't like Iran, get out.
The same thing.
I mean, look, they're really doing a disservice to a reasonable criticisms that would have been made of the libs of TikTok, in my view.
For sure.
You know, in my.
For sure. Maybe maybe we should have been better people and put all this aside and done that, but
this is too funny.
The person behind the account is what has led to right-wingers like Glenn Greenwald completely melting down about it. He writes this: Taylor Lorenz is about to expose the private citizen behind some anonymous account on Twitter. And when people criticize her for it, she and her friends will claim Taylor is the real victim, and anyone criticizing this type of journalist will be guilty of causing her trauma. So Taylor Lorenz opened up about what it's like to be a female reporter in an industry that is not friendly to female reporters. To whine about anyone talking about their lived experience is so pathetic and weak, but that's who Glenn Greenwald is. A terminally online, pathetic little clown.
Man, I don't know how the Vanguard do this. They're so disciplined. They watch like 5 or 10 minutes and then they pause it.
I know. No, this part I really pissed me off.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that to become a part of normal, language now? If you criticize someone's lived experience, what the fuck does that suppose? Everybody had a lived experience. Like, if you criticize someone, by definition, you're criticizing their lived experience because they lived that part of their life.
And this is what I was trying to say in the beginning. And I mean,
backward.
I don't know if I articulated. Like, I mean, maybe the comments that you're receiving on social media impacts you in a negative way. Okay, like
of
I
course
understand,
it does.
and,
I'm sure it
and
does.
I wish it didn't and stuff, but by itself like that, it's just not that big of a bad issue in the way it is, and especially the things that she received and all that. You know, it's not like she had lost her, I don't know, parent or something, and something horrible, and someone was like attacking him. She's a journalist, and she got some heat on Twitter. I mean, that just sounds to me like a normal day, more or less, for a journalist. I would assume.
Look, man, these people, have they not lived? I used to work in an office. You say something controversial, anybody does, all the other people in the office tend to comment on that.
Yeah.
Now, the lived experience of some. What are you talking about? Just grow up, you children.
And if you're being
losers.
nice and stuff, you have a genuine conversation. If the person's being genuine and stuff, fine, you can be nice to them. It's just that now Taylor Lorenz has entered another area, and like, so she has all these like fights and beefs and stuff. So people aren't that they don't try to be overly nice and sympathetic. So I mean, she's reached this point. Yeah, no, but not because because she played too, like she went too much in the nice, like, oh, I'm a little girl, don't you? Fuck off. Yeah, I mean,
Went from being a pretty impressive reporter to being someone who we literally dunk on both on air and off the air, because how could you not? But I do want to also go to something interesting about Glenn Greenwald. Let's go to graphic 16 here. Matt Binder made sure to emphasize a part of her reporting, Taylor Lorenz's reporting, that's really relevant to Glenn Greenwald. All of the info in the Libs of TikTok piece was already publicly available online, But Taylor had one thing that no one else had, which made the report possible. Glenn Greenwald accidentally confirming her identity. And the excerpt, let's keep that tweet up, says this: when a reporter called the phone number registered to Raychik's real estate profile and libsoftiktok.us, the woman who answered hung up after the reporter identified herself. And then later she writes that on Monday night, a tweet from Glenn Greenwald confirmed the house that was visited belonged to Raychik's family. Oops. Also wanted to add this delicious tweet from Glenn from September 12th of 2020. It's amazing. It's not that long ago, and it shows you how much he's changed. So Alex, I'm sorry, this tweet says the following: I don't mind admitting that I find anonymous cowards who spread lies on the internet repulsive. Why wouldn't I? It's an insecure, scared, petty, inconsequential way of living.
Go ahead.
So look, she's, I mean, as you play the video later on, people will see she's pulling this up as a sort of a hypocrisy burn. But let's read. I don't mind admitting that I find anonymous cowards who spread lies on the internet repulsive. So he finds them repulsive. Why wouldn't I? It's an insecure, scared, petty, inconsequential way of living. So it's not a hypocrisy, but he says he finds them repulsive. He doesn't say they should be, made public. Not that I don't think, again, I reiterate, I don't think anybody has the right to be anonymous, but he's not being a hypocrite. This says, like, he's just saying he finds them repulsive, not that he thinks they all should be not anonymous.
And I guess she'd be like, why don't you find her repulsive? But there's also another thing I see here, which he wrote, who spread lies on the internet.
Oh, that's true.
Technically speaking, she wasn't, I mean, not her videos. I don't know if she tweets shit like that, or maybe there she lies and stuff. But those videos are literally videos of other people.
That's true.
Who had decided to share it and put it out there. And did you catch that in the beginning of this video right now, before we paused it? She said, Glenn, who used to be a pretty good reporter, but who we dunk on now, both live and off the air.
Oh, on air and off air, yeah.
As if that's like...
Thank you for that.
How is that an
to
insult?
the background?
I mean, yeah, that doesn't...
I mean, I just
show
how
how
much
lame he is.
I mean, man, I would pay any amount of money just to be a fly on the wall. Why Anna and Cenk are riffing against Glenn and are making fantastic, funny jokes about how Glenn sucks, because just their on-air performance is fantastic. Yeah. So their off-air must be even better.
Oops.
Interesting.
Okay, now all of a sudden he says, how dare you out anyone who's anonymous online? I'm aflutter with it. Oh my God, I'm so outraged. Yeah, sure you are, Glenn. God, you've become such a pathetic liar, and it's so obvious. So this has real life consequences. So this lunatic, Chaya Raychik, let me repeat that. Her name is Chaya Raychik, okay? By the way, don't go to her house. You're not a reporter, okay? And don't do anything in the real world physical to anyone. We're on the left. We're progressives. We actually believe in decency and morality, unlike the right wing, okay? I'm telling you who she is because of what she's doing online. You don't get to hide behind your hood while you go and attack gay people left and right.
I mean, the part where he's like, I'm gonna say it again, Raya Chachik, I don't know, whatever her name is, as if he's like breaking the ban in the Chinese government ban on saying some corruption. I'm gonna say it again. I'm so brave. Like, oh Jesus Christ, get over yourself. I mean, yeah. And then I love how he clarifies, don't go to her house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just in case if some of you idiots were.
And try to get anyone who's decent to gay people fired.
Right.
Okay. So now, all we're doing is taking our hood off. That's it. Now, she has the crazy conspiracy theory that Anna told you. Many of them, and we talked about it earlier in the show too. Some QAnon-like conspiracies, and and of course the election was stolen, and of course COVID conspiracy theories, etc. But look at the litter box one that Anna just mentioned. Yeah. Okay. So the kids are dressing up as furries and they're defecating in the middle of the school, and that's why they had to bring in litter boxes. We've done stories where several different school districts had to put out statements saying, please stop attacking us.
Yeah.
There are no kids actually dressed up as cats. There are no litter boxes in the schools. It's total insanity. It's not at all true. Now Glenn Greenwald is coming around and saying, oh, no, being anonymous while you spread insane conspiracy theories like that, that's awesome. That's free speech, baby.
Parents were showing up to school.
Glenn is not even saying all that, and as you'll see in Glenn's Rumble video when we play a little bit, Glenn says that he doesn't agree with everything that she said or done. I mean, I don't know where they got all this on Glenn about. Like, Glenn's video wasn't even out when they made their own video, so based on a few tweets, they knew exactly.
I just love the fact the fucking parents are going to schools going, where is the litter? Where's the cat litter box? Where's the cat? I think these started as sort of Reddit or 4chan fucking bullshit rumors. And I'm sorry, but if you're a parent and you fall for that, you should have your children taken away from you immediately. Like right away.
Board meetings, and they were hysterical, okay? They were terrified that their children were being offered litter boxes to defecate in because the school was trying to be accommodating to furries. Why did they think that? Oh, it turns out the origin of that nonsense was Libs of TikTok.
And they're
no, sorry, Cenk. And I just love the
man, like, I mean, listen, if you put a video out and people believe it to that extent, I don't know, is it?
No, it's people's fault,
really
man.
your
It's
fault? Yeah,
fault.
I mean, honestly.
No, it's Orson Welles did it. It's famous. Orson Welles did the adaptation of War of the Worlds, which is this book, H.G. Wells' book, where aliens come to Earth. And he did, I think only in Los Angeles or California, I'm mistaken, he started the radio show in a way that he sort of broadcasted it as a news, sort of aliens are coming, breaking news. And some people sort of escaped. I think it wasn't as widespread as it's popularly been shown, but that's their people's fault. If you're that, I'm sorry, but Jesus Christ, like, take some responsibility. Yeah.
Seriously.
There's a litter box at the school.
defenders of that account, like, what? I mean, she's just reposting what libs are putting up on social media. That's not true. She's specifically framing them as dangerous, nefarious individuals who are grooming your children. Clearly, she's posting things that are lies, like the litter box nonsense. And then more importantly, listen, Media Matters literally just takes video clips of what right-wingers are saying, they post it, and the reporters, the people who work at Media Matters, they're not anonymous. They're literally just taking the content, reposting it on their site. And the reason why they're not hiding their identities is because they're doing nothing wrong. They're not taking people out of context, they're not defaming individuals. They don't have to worry about lawsuits because they're not defaming individuals. But this individual, right, Chaya Raichik, she is defaming individuals. She knows what she's doing. That's why she wanted to remain anonymous. She wanted to go out of her way to get people fired, to destroy people's lives, take away their livelihood with no repercussions, no consequences whatsoever. And now you have a reporter like Taylor Lorenz who had the courage, the balls, and also the journalistic integrity to do her job appropriately and report on the story. And the right wing is not used to anyone fighting back against them.
Man, you would think that she broke, you know. I mean, literally, I don't. Okay, I'm not in the States, so maybe it's not fair. But even if I was sitting in New York, I don't think there would be like anyone within like a two mile radius of me who knows about this story. I mean, you know, it's just us losers here having some fun, man.
Exactly.
Let's take it easy.
About like 6 people read Washington Post, and there is like 6 other people who are like told by those 6 people. Like that's the number. But man, by the way, do you remember the tweet about her being angry and out of control? No, she's definitely not angry.
No,
she's
definitely.
very calm.
And you know, she keeps saying, no, she frames this video, she puts them this way and that way. And I mean, listen,
She's
she
talking
has
nonsense.
a channel and stuff. Yes, she has a page. But
Yeah,
some of
that's
these videos, I mean, these videos by themselves, you don't need anyone. And that's why she's just
no,
go
but
watch
you
his
can.
videos. These videos, I watched them in zero context and just by themselves. They were like, you know, they were
Awful.
efficient. They just they were self-sufficient, you know. It was just
Very
like
target oriented.
the video in itself in 20 seconds does way more damage. If you would take them and frame them, then
To
people
be honest,
would be like, yeah, just you play these videos for a second, and some of them really are just insanely overboard, you know. None of, I mean, you know, you don't
no,
want people to get fired or anything from them, but they're just, the
I
nicest
do.
way I can say them is that they're overboard, man. Some of them are,
Overbearing, really.
yeah.
No, look, I would say that, to be honest, I do think some of the videos I saw, the people in them really need mental help. Like, and I don't think they should be near children or adults, to be frank. Like, they need professional help. But saying that she's framing them and there is a reason why, for example, in the United States, defamation and libel and all that, you have to go to court. Of course, you can say that very easily, but then again, any academic work, whenever you do academic work, you have to reference people, but you can't reference, for example, the whole work of Herbert Marcuse, can you? You have to, you know, so you could argue you're framing, and there is, you know, there is like interpretations of like same person completely differently. One person saying he was a racist, one person saying he wasn't. So anything to do with media or this type of thing has to do with framing and all that. So I think her criticism in the framing is very, very unfair. But your thing, I must say, I do think, and I do think that if Libs of TikTok just shared the videos without her commentary, it would have been a more effective channel. I find her commentary,
and I think they are. Does she commentate
snobbish
on every video or the YouTube
I don't
versions that
know.
we watched? Yeah, someone
I
can
don't
maybe
know,
let us know if on TikTok and everywhere.
Yeah.
Does she commentate on all of them?
But her commentary, like she said, there was a video of a lady who had transmitted to becoming a man, and her body had changed and all that, and she was saying that's what all the leftists want to do to all your children and all that. And that's nonsense. But at the same time, the people she was showcasing, I genuinely believe they need, like, we need to really need to seriously reconsider what we consider mental illness, and like, seriously, like, have some people really institutionalized, like.
But yeah, and I mean, going back to her, like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to spend 10 seconds with her, like, yeah, exactly, her own takes and stuff like that. And then, yeah, when Anna says that, you know, January 6th and COVID and all this, yeah, that's going towards the stuff that she's tweeting. But the real bulk of her work that she became famous are other people's videos that she's just watching. And the ones that we watch, because we watched it on YouTube and the person was commentating before and after, but then they just played those videos, and those videos were very self-sufficient.
Yeah, I agree with you. But again, I just want to clarify my position towards her is just like Simon Cowell. There is these sad little freaks, and she finds them and then she makes fun of them, and I just, the whole thing makes me nauseous.
No, for sure. I'm not gonna spend like my, you know, free time going through her shit and stuff, because, you know.
No, of course, but it shouldn't be censored.
I honestly think, like, Crystal Ball, once again, she summarized the whole thing very well yesterday in like 5 seconds. You know, she said it's not really her cup of tea and all this, but
exactly,
some of the stuff that she's putting, you know, you wouldn't want to.
Do you like the Jackass like series, the movies? You know, like that. I always hated that, but you know, that doesn't mean I think it's causing blah blah blah. You know, just get over yourself. Just because something is not your taste.
Agree with you there.
That is why they're having this simultaneous meltdown, and that is why I'm in a great mood today. I love to see it. I love to see them cope like the little babies that they are. In fact, Cenk, why don't we take a little trip to the copium den so we can view it all for ourselves and really enjoy this moment.
This is so lame. Watch.
The poll book is completely off.
Who was it called by? Oh my goodness! All the networks.
Dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
Another person in the copium den is Meghan McCain. Taylor Lorenz is knocking on doors of relatives and trying to dox anonymous figures from Twitter, but will cry on TV about being harassed. I mean, Meghan, no one cried on TV more than you did. I'm the only conservative on The View. It's not fair. Are you really gonna call her out for crying on air? Anyway, is she a sociopath? This right here.
Yeah, so I have.
Yeah, no, that's. Yeah. I mean, look. First, I like to first point out that she's not angry. She's having the time of his life.
I know, Jesus Christ.
She's having the time of his life. Like, Jesus. Okay, Anna, all right.
We believe you. You definitely.
Yeah. Yes. Would you like to have a Snickers? Yes. But Meghan, that is true about Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain is the biggest loser. It's bigger than Taylor Lorenz, to be honest, and even like size-wise. And she's just always going on about, no, my dad died. You were like 55 years old when your dad died. It's not like you were fucking orphaned. You literally like, I'm Oliver Twist type, like, oh my God. Like, oh, fuck off.
And you know, like one or two things. I mean, listen, Taylor Lorenz went after a pretty pathetic story, right? Like a story that you would think that like smaller outlets would typically go on. And it's not a story to brag about, but hey, maybe it brings you views and all this. You did the story. That's fine. And also the part on her knocking on relatives' doors and stuff. I mean, it's okay. I don't get the big deal out of that either. Like she did like journalism on a relatively small and stupid story and makes it seem like she cracked like the biggest case in the world. But going and knocking on people's doors and relatives and asking them a question, and then, you know, if they shut the door on you and then you leave, that is fine with me. I don't get why that's an issue.
What is that referring to specifically?
To her, because there's like a picture of her relatives took this picture. She went around asking different people who know her to get some information to see if anybody wanted to talk. Taylor Lorenz
went to information know about the Libs of TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. So let's say if I was Libs of TikTok, so if I was the girl, she went and knocked on my mom's house, on my friend's house, and be like, hey, is this your daughter? Would you like to, do you have anything to say?
I mean, look, I think that's completely, fair enough.
I mean it's not like Taylor Lorenz did anything bad or illegal in that sense.
No.
It's
her hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's the hypocrisy that we're having so much fun, exactly, and then it gets blown out of proportion from different sides.
And again,
why into a story?
And what is? I mean, I feel like people think journalism is this like profession that is about finding out truth, and it's a good profession that honest people. Journalism is the biggest fucking racket in the world. It's like the lowest of the low. Usually are attracted to journalism. It's basically, high-level gossiping.
Listen, I don't know about that, but what rubbed me the wrong way?
Alexander Cockburn.
What wronged me the wrong way on this story is like even Cenk was saying, oh no, don't go out there, don't go. She was actually a journalist. She was doing reporting and go out there. Well, anyone is allowed to go out there and do reporting.
Exactly.
You don't need a license. It's not
the most
being
bullshit.
I wouldn't say it's because of that, and I wouldn't go that far. My only point is that anyone's allowed to go. Like after this video, I'm allowed to go and talk to people and do everything that a journalist does. Call people, send messages, and then come and write up a story and post it. You know, like you can't be a lawyer without a license. You can't be a doctor without a license. So that's fair enough. But
you can't be a gossip.
You're allowed to be a doctor. Now I wouldn't go as far as you and say that about all kind of journalists and stuff. I think that's unfair. Although, of course, there are clearly a lot of them who fall under that category.
Look, I think the journalists and historians are nothing but gossipy, basically. Old. And I
What does that
studied
make
history,
us?
and I like, yeah, exactly the same thing. This idea that they need their professions and their job. It's like, you know, TYT and to be honest, a lot of other people, like they need, oh, we are fighting against the mainstream media, or we are doing this, or we're, you know, you're not doing any of that. You're just gossiping, and that's my view anyway. But yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. I wouldn't put
Sorry.
it that way, but yeah.
Is why the vast majority of American public hates the press.
No, Megan, you're a sociopath. You think there's kids dressing up as furries in schools? There's litter boxes. You think there's child molestation and drinking of blood of children? You think all that lunatic stuff? And you think that this Libs of TikTok is some sort of hero to you? If you think that she's some sort of a journalistic hero and Taylor Lorenz is the bad guy for pointing out who she is, you're the sociopath. So look, there's other parts of this too. The literal state legislators have gone around with that litter box theory. Okay, they've done speeches like, "We've got to protect the kids from the litter boxes," because the right wing has lost their minds, right? And so, how about the school officials that got attacked based on the lies from Libs of TikTok?
No, but they love it. They love that.
Wait, you don't seem concerned about them being outed?
No, because they're not.
And they didn't even do anything wrong. She just made up stuff about them.
They love it. What happened to all the Trump administration officials who were?
Yeah, I think they're kind of. I think we can call it this with this video.
No, but do you know if that's true that she made up stuff about other people?
That's exactly, that's, you know, that's the part that I think you can say in one way it's perhaps unfair based on those videos, right? I mean, I don't know her whole life. I don't know what the hell that she's been tweeting about. And you saw her talking, right? You saw her talking on YouTube. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of the stuff that comes out of her mouth and stuff are all
bullshit,
are a bunch
but
of
it's
lies
different
and bullshit.
from commentary is different from
that she was,
description.
yeah, and those videos that she's posting, they're just videos that have been sent to her that she's found. Yeah, but. So now that Anna and Cenk are so calm, should we just watch a little bit of Glenn's video, see what he had to say?
Sure, but while you make that ready, I just want to make my comment. I think the main thing with TYT, and I looked at their views and all that, and man, their views is about the same as like a channel like Secular Talk or Glenn Greenwald. And I think the reason why Cenk is so furious is probably partially because, you know, they spent so much, you know, they've done a full like a studio, and they have, you know, producers, and they basically have, there's a amazing, I think it's the best Iranian saying, to be honest. It's Aftabulagan Haftas Shamanahar Hichi, which is like, you have like 7 sets of furniture, but you don't have like lunch and dinner to eat. You know, so it's kind of, it feels like that, like they don't have any meat to their like they have, and he's spent so much money. And then there is this guy like Kyle Kalinske, like, you know, with just like a computer and a webcam. It's just doing this, getting the same level of, like, no, I'm just saying.
Honestly, just the other day I was looking at Secular Talk and TYT. I mean, Kyle gets a lot of shit for his channel not growing and everything. But view-wise, he does better than these guys. I mean, not that these guys are on top of the game right now, but he looks like he's easily getting more views than them. But yeah, and they have this whole apparent everything that they have.
You know, Glenn is not hiring, like, he's just him, and he has like more subscribers. I mean, he does have more subscribers. They have like the most subscribers,
they have the most subscribers, but
the views are very low.
All right, let's watch a little bit of Glenn, see what he had to say. Let's watch a few minutes.
This account, Libs of TikTok, really does nothing other than, as its name suggests, curates videos of liberals or leftists who post their own videos on TikTok voluntarily, putting it in the public domain. She doesn't dox anybody. She doesn't hack anyone. These are videos that people have chosen to put into the public domain that they want to be public. She monitors TikTok. She uses TikTok. And when she sees what she regards as a video that enlightens or illuminates or informs public debate, such as a public school teacher defiantly vowing to ignore laws about what they can and can't teach in the classroom, or expressing stories about what they've shared with young students, or other matters that she thinks are relevant. She takes those videos and shows them to the world on her TikTok account. Now, let me just say, I don't support everything that she's done. I don't agree with everything she's done, just like as is true for pretty much everybody in the world. I have my disagreements with her. There are certain things she has done that I find discomforting or uncomfortable. But the decision to unmask her by essentially the world's richest newspaper, the one owned by Amazon founder and multi-billionaire Jeff Bezos, is an extremely consequential one, an extremely weighty one. Usually, at least as I understand journalism, you're supposed to direct your journalistic microscope to power centers, to powerful institutions and powerful people such as the CIA and the NSA and the Pentagon. And
yeah,
I'm sorry, but what I need referencing for that? Since when journalism for most of its history has been like, how do we justify the ruling of the power elite? I'm sorry, but this.
That's what it's turned into. But theoretically
no, it was
speaking,
always like that. It's always
okay. Let's say from the
that.
first day it became that, right? But theoretically, if you go to if you read it in theory in a textbook, right? He is right that journalism, you're supposed to try to do your journalistic work and target like the highest, most influential. Highest, most influential people in power who matter.
I don't know what textbook you're talking about, but
and like journalism, that would be like 101 in journalism. That's what they would say. 101.
Again, that's what they would say, but that again, what they would say has nothing to do with reality.
In theory, yes. In reality, of course, we know, and I think Glenn would also agree that in reality, we know that most journalism done by most big newspapers or other news organizations is complete crap.
Yes. So why is anyway? And then I must say, I don't like the richest Washington Post unmasking. I don't find this framing that it's like saying the richest pauper, richest beggar in the world. Like, who gives a shit? Like, if Washington Post attacks me right now, whoa, I'm so afraid. I'm just saying,
if they want to do a story on that, it's fine. And if they want to do a story on this, I mean, I think exactly. I agree with you there.
She made loads of videos. She tried to influence the political conversation. Then Washington Post is allowed to respond.
Yeah,
and it's unmasking as if oh my God, it was like Arsène Lupin going around, oh Jesus Christ.
No, I agree. And there's no need of babying her. There's no need of There's no need of babying her and then making her seem like this kind of person. She went and she wanted to become run this big channel and stuff, and someone's gonna come after you.
Oh no! I wanted to make an anonymous channel and nobody respond. What the fuck? I don't know.
No, I agree with you. Let's watch a few more minutes, see what Glenn has to say.
And the various components of the federal government and billionaires and Wall Street and Silicon Valley, not to private citizens whose politics you dislike. And yet in her case, in the case of Taylor Lorenz and the Washington Post, they looked at the political view she was expressing, the activism in which she was engaging.
Please. Yeah, and don't get this private citizen thing again.
It's
not like she was someone's grandma. It's not like, good point. That's a good point. I get it. If it was a random story about a grandma sitting on the couch, you'd be like, what the hell? And even then I wouldn't say, oh, she's a private figure. It's not because of private or public figure. I'll just be like, why the hell would you do that story? That doesn't make even sense.
It's just,
but here, some kind of story makes sense. I mean, I think to that extent, it's the person that it was done by and all that too.
Well, I'm sorry, but what are billionaires? They are also private citizens. What are politicians? That's why, for example,
politicians,
if a politician breaks the law.
That's what I.
No, but they are still private. Yeah. If they break the law, they should be held accountable for breaking that law as a private citizen. Like this, I'm sorry, but this, like, it's a very arbitrary sort of categorization and an unhelpful one. I completely, like, again, yes, I agree with you. For example, I see somebody making fun of a grandmother for some reason. I think it's personally, I think it's wrong and I wouldn't do it, but I don't think it should be illegal. You know what I mean? Because I know the concept, like, everybody is a private citizen. What are you, anyway?
I mean, that's the thing I'm saying. Like, the way that we're using this private public thing is getting out of thing. I mean, if you really want to use it like very accurately, which based on my understanding is there are public servants, aka they work for the government, right?
No,
that's one way. But then the other one is like there are public facing people. So so more people will talk about them, which is kind of her. She's a public
like
facing
celebrities
person. Yeah, she tried to hide, which that's her prerogative to try and hide her information,
her
but she
identity.
wasn't able to, and it came out. So I mean, this whole private public thing, maybe I'll think about some more and be able to articulate myself a bit better on Friday. Again, but it kind of it bothers me. I think it's like playing with the concepts, if you ask me.
Same. And by the way, Glenn is like, oh yeah, Washington Post is this powerful, rich organization going after this individual citizen. I'm sorry, but like, first of all, it's like, what power does Washington Post has besides like higher number of followers, I assume? And again,
I mean, he would say they have resources and all that, but yeah, I mean, it's still none
that's the whole point of politics.
It's
like saying,
anything.
Yeah, I stood against the Republican politician in an area, and yeah, he also responded back by some. Like, what do you expect to do? Like, what do you expect politics to be? Like, people not responding to you, people just going, oh, well done. Like, I don't, and again, then I don't think unmasking is a big deal. So, yeah.
Not at all. Not at all, if you ask me.
It's simply to expose her real life identity using their vast journalistic resources. Now, there's been a lot of public debate about whether this is a journalistically valid exercise. And I want to, for the most part, leave that aside and instead examine two components of what I believe this episode reveals.
Yeah, so I suggest we just listen to his two components. I had only listened up to here before, so I'm just curious what the two things are that he focuses on.
Yeah, but I just before that though, the idea of valid journalistic, like, what are you talking? Like, Glenn is not here talking about that. Just general, he's referring. But there is no such a thing as valid journalistic practices or not. Just like,
no, I mean, I don't know about that.
For morality in life.
Yeah, I mean, let's put the valid thing aside. Did she, let's say, as a journalist, right? As a professional journalist, did she use her time, you could say, like, the most wisely? Are there more interesting, consequential stories out there?
No, but then you can say that about anyway.
And then that's where I was that's where I was going. But exactly, you can say that about everything. I get it. I mean, the Taylor Lorenz lady, yeah, she spent her time on, again, not the most important. I mean, I want to say, but I feel like the story is also not absolutely bullshit, right? It just comes from a hypocrite, and it's done by the Washington Post and stuff. And
true,
it looks true. But if it was done by like a medium-sized leftist kind of outlet, right? Or let's say one that's very like pro-gay or pro-LGBTQ and plus, it's fair game. It's all fine. That's where I don't kind of see it, and I don't follow the outrage and the narrative. But yeah, did she do the most interesting story of all time? Is her story going to be taught in journalistic schools in years to come? No, I highly doubt it.
Or as Bree said, even if she wrote the same story without the information about her, maybe it would have been received differently.
Yeah.
But I haven't read it, so I'm not sure.
For one, it reveals how modern day journalists, the majority of employees of liberal corporate media outlets such as the Washington Post, see the purpose of journalism, which is not to confront power centers or expose the lies and crimes of the US security state, but to target private citizens and punish them for having what they regard as incorrect political ideology, whether they're Trump supporters or identify with the MAGA movement or too far to the left. As long as you diverge from or dissent from liberal orthodoxy, they regard.
Sorry, what the punishment?
How was she punished?
What punished? But I didn't get it. I was writing kind of my point.
Glenn was writing that the purpose of these things is that they could go after and punish the.
I mean, I guess right now she wasn't punished, but let's say somebody else in her case could, like, let's say, lose their job or something like that, silence them.
All right. Okay. All right.
Okay, you already made me pause, so I always say this. I mean, once again, with Glenn, I agree. I mean, I've taken media and communication classes, right? I agree that in theory, that's what the textbooks teach. And there's the whole concept of the fourth estate, which the media's role and journalists' role is in theory there to keep the most powerful in check as much as possible, right? But that this isn't being done now. And it was being done previously during this glorious period, and that has changed. That's where I don't follow Glenn Greenwald in his argument. And by the way, this is the exact same one that Matt Taibbi makes quite frequently.
I'm sorry, but yeah, this is the most, I mean, the idea that journalism was ever proficient about like exposing truth or standing up. Journalism has always been basically the excuses of the powerful.
I would say normatively it's been that it should have been what I said and what Glenn is saying, right? It ought to be this.
Who
but
says
in
it should have been
practice,
that?
people who came up with the concept of journalism, like I said, in theory, journalism, they say it should be this. The vast majority of journalists or people who teach journalism or who are in that field would agree in theory that that's what it's supposed to do. Now, the fact that it's been corrupted since day one,
it's not corrupted.
Yeah, claim.
Yes. That's where we disagree. It's not corrupted. It is, sorry, it is what it's always been.
It's what it's always been in practice.
It's court historians, basically, court historians that now serve the public. I mean, this idea that journalism was supposed to speak truth to power.
Again,
what's
supposed to, that's fine. And you can say it's still supposed to do that.
No, it wasn't supposed to. Look at
that's where I disagree with you.
No, first newspapers in every country, who set them up? The most powerful people. It wasn't supposed to speak power to the powerful. It was supposed to manufacture consent. That's what's always
that's what
been
it
there.
was used. That's what it was used. But when
that's what it was supposed to do, and it did that very well.
By people who wanted to be the case too, but there are others who didn't want that to be the case, I'm sure. And there's
there are people who don't want, I don't know, hunting. Like it's like saying, there are people who wish there weren't bad things, but that doesn't mean anything. Like,
yeah, I think I agree with you. Who knew that the Glenn Greenwald video would be more interesting than TYT? Let's watch a bit more. No, at least there's substance and arguments.
Guard you as fair game. And this is by far not the only example demonstrating the use and abuse of the world's largest media megaphones to target powerless individuals or people, private citizens who have chosen to participate anonymously in our political debates. But it also reveals something else, which is an extraordinary double standard that corporate journalists in particular are trying to construct and then impose, that holds that they are free to do anything they want. They can investigate who they want. They can expose who they want. They can publish private information about your life if they want. They can use resources to wreck your life if they want, defame you, malign you, ruin your reputation. But if you want to criticize them, let alone investigate them the way they've decided they can investigate you, you will be demonized as somebody who's responsible for an attack on a free press or some.
All right, I think that sums up kind of his take there. So then he's saying that they're hypocrites and stuff, which is.
I'm sorry, but again, I must say, Yes, and what? Like,
Yeah.
what is she doing? What is she doing? She's also framing them in a negative way. They also gonna respond by framing her in a negative way. Everybody's complaining about everybody criticizing them. I don't know. Again, if they were, by the way, if there was a push for censorship on Twitter or YouTube, that's a whole different thing.
Mhm.
But you can't just say, "Oh, they criticized her in a bad way." Yeah, of course, because that's what they do. Like,
Yeah, no, I
but,
agree
but
with you.
I like to say that
And I'm
I
gonna
think,
stop the share screen here, by the way. Just
all right,
letting you know.
if you do go later to the video, though, Glenn talks about the history of Taylor Lawrence and how she became famous and how she's there's no other way to show Lawrence. I mean, Taylor Lawrence. She has no talent. She's always basically pretty much got like has risen through the ranks through kissing the ass of the system and all that. So I mean, I agree with all that, but at the same time, I don't understand why this Libs of the TikTok person should get a special sort of treatment or whatever.
I agree with you there. But okay, Sam, I think let's wrap this up for now. Maybe on Friday we'll have more, how do you say it, more like articulated, well thought out, at least for me. I just found out about this kind of last night, and this morning was thinking about it. So my apologies if I wasn't too clear at some points, but folks, please also write that down in the comment section, and I'll either try to clarify myself, or I'll be like, yeah, I have no idea what I was talking about. It'll be one or the other.
Me too.
Yeah.
I seem angry and very confident, but I'm not at all.
But okay, that was interesting. But okay, guys, we're gonna put so please, what am I saying? Please like and subscribe, and more importantly, leave all your comments, questions, criticisms, and everything else down below. I'll make sure to get to them. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.
But wait. But you agree with me that everybody was wrong?
Okay, hold on. I don't want to break it down again. Which part? No, I don't agree with anything that you're saying. But
all
okay,
right.
Thank you for watching, folks, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.